Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante, now with more Bitcoin. You can support the show right there by donating a little Bitcoin if you like. I'm trying to create a circular economy. When I was living in El Salvador for 2 months earlier this year, it was awesome. I rented my car using Bitcoin. I purchased, I think, a surfboard from Bitcoin. Certain restaurants I would go out and use Bitcoin. It was really cool using a circular economy. So I'm talking about El Salvador because one of the things why I was down there for 2 months, and I've been down there 3 times, and I want to spend more time down there, and we're really working on doing bigger like film and TV production, is because what President Bukele has done is pretty revolutionary. The first thing he did is he made Bitcoin legal tender, and that happened in September of 2021. He announced it, I think, around May or June of 21, and it became official in September of 21. That was like a huge shockwave through the Bitcoin community. And it was a signal to like the central banks, bye. In March of 2022, he locked up 50, 60,000 criminals in the span of about a month. And to date, it's been over 70,000. And some people said, oh, he locked up innocent people. Well, over 5,000 people have actually been released. But Bukele is not just like, hey, I'm just locking up the criminals. Now, he needed to lock up the criminals. That was important because Salvadorians were paying roughly $5 billion a year or something like that in extortion money. The GDP at the time was $28 billion a year. So you're talking about 20, 30%. It's in essence like the whole country got a 20 to 30% raise because everyone had to pay extortion money and everyone was affected by the gangs. Horrible violence, rape. People would say, oh, he's arresting people just for having tattoos. Well, to get a tattoo in a Salvadorian gang, you had to either rape or kill somebody. So it was pretty awful. Another thing Bukele did was he was like, in his first campaign in 2019, he said, there's plenty of money for everything if there's no corruption. I'm paraphrasing his statement, but that was his campaign slogan. And, all of these, like one of the previous presidents, I think 2 presidents before Bukele, just took $1.3 billion out of a country the size of Massachusetts, just split, and he's gone. They're just gone. So the politicians and a handful of the wealthy people were just plundering money from that country. So now I've been down there. There's new roads. There's a brand new library. There's new hospitals being built. There's like money for the schools. If you look back on go to my El Salvador playlist, I interviewed the Minister of Education talking about all the new things that are happening in the schools that weren't happening before. And Bukele, there was someone within his own party that did some corrupt stuff. And he's like, nope, that's not going to happen. Well, guess what he just announced? He arrested a bunch of corrupt bankers. Man, why can't we get this in the United States? This is from friend of the show, Max Keiser. This is like unbelievable. These are all the bankers, and then he lines them up, right? This is like, these are all the bankers that got arrested, right? Like, there's their full names. Some of these people were family members, like Manuel Alonso Gomez Raimundo, Zumera. I can't pronounce all these names. Forgive me, my Spanish. I'm studying every day. Yo estudiante español para 8 o 9 meses. But I can't pronounce all these names. Look at this. Look at all these people arrested. This is like unreal. And this is what they were living in. These are all their homes. They were living in the lap of luxury, taking Salvadorian taxpayer money and just plundering the country. Somebody wrote, good work. Now, where can I bid the police auctions for these assets? I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, look at all this stuff. This is them going through these houses. I mean, look at this, man. This is the fiscal general of the Republic of El Salvador. So this is, these people just look at these houses they lived in. These look like drug cartel houses. And their family members, they're just corrupt, plundering. This is what do we have to do in America to get this happening? This is so impressive. This does several things. One, you just like stop the corruption. So now there's more actual tax dollars to go, because El Salvador is not like the United States. It's not a monetary sovereign. It uses the US dollar and it uses Bitcoin. So it can't print its own money like the US dollar, like the United States does, right? Which the US just prints money, which shows you that taxation actually is complete theft in this country. None of us need to pay taxes because the Federal Reserve can just print money and pay for all of this. So after the 2008 banking crisis, you know who else did this? It wasn't Barack Obama. It wasn't George W. Bush. Well, it wasn't Bush for sure. And then Obama got sworn in January. So the housing crash, little history lesson real quick, little timeline. September of 2008 is when the housing crisis hit. And the markets crashed and everything went bad. So George Bush was still in office. Obama gets elected in November of 2008. He's not sworn in until January of 2009. And Bush and Obama arrest no one, like one mid-level person. Iceland did this. Iceland arrested the CEOs of the banks that helped create the crisis that ruined Icelanders' lives financially. 6 million initially were reported. Now it looks like it's closer to 10 million foreclosures happened in the United States as a result of the 2008 housing crisis, which was a scandal. These were criminals. We can't put any bankers in jail in this country. Because if you put the bankers in jail, how are the politicians going to make money? Nancy Pelosi's worth over $100 million. Everyone in Congress and the Senate, Republican and Democrat, are all filthy corrupt. The bankers need to be put in prison. This is monumental. This is monumental. If America actually upheld the laws that it holds so dear, America loves giving this morality lesson to all these other countries around the world. What are you talking about? All of our politicians are bought and paid for. What's our presidential election going to be? It's going to be Trump and Biden, two corrupt, greasy, maggot-ridden, soulless, vapid bags of shit. If you think, well, Trump's better, you're a sucker. If you think, well, Biden's better, you're a sucker. That's what we need to do to Trump and Biden and all of their rat kids. They're horrible children. Arrest the Clintons, arrest the Bushes, arrest the Obamas, and arrest Jamie Dimon and all of these CEOs. You know Jamie Dimon. You remember Jamie Dimon. He's the guy that helped launder money for Jeffrey Epstein. That guy who said Bitcoin's awful, and then JP Morgan Chase just bought a bunch of Bitcoin. This is it's great that they're doing this in Salvador and just shows you what a real leader is like and how much of a joke America is. Who do we arrest in America? College students that they're protesting, bombing hospitals and killing children. 35,000 Palestinians are dead to date. 70% of them are women and children. But as that makes you anti-Semitic. So we People that protest war, that don't want American money being sent to war, those people are arrested. But bankers, they can do whatever they want. Politicians can do whatever they want. In El Salvador, it's a different story. Yeah, somebody just put in the chat, whatever happened to enemies, foreign and domestic? These are domestic enemies. Bukele locked them up. We have banking enemies in this country. We should lock them up. I mean, there's video of Netanyahu just bragging. I own all these politicians. There's a video of him saying this like 20 years ago. We own all the politicians in America. We pay them all with AIPAC money. America will do whatever we want. The leader of a foreign country just laughing at us. I own this country. I bet you these people were laughing. Ah, ha, ha. We made all this money. Yeah, Bukele's tough on crime. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, no one's smiling in that photo because they're all in prison garb. This is what a real leader does. But we don't have real leaders in America. We have pimps and whores, and they're called Democrats and Republicans. Trump is a pimp. Biden's a pimp. They're all worthless maggots. I will be voting third party again. I've had Dr. Jill Stein on this show. I really like what she's doing. She just got arrested like 2 weeks ago as a Jewish woman that is against what Israel is doing in Gaza. She got arrested for that. But the bankers here, man, they're living high in the hog. If you're a corrupt banker, come to the United States, man. You can have whatever you want. Well, folks, thank you so much for, you can support our show by going to swanbitcoin.com/Graham Elwood. You get $10 of free Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin so the central banks have no power over you because they're going to try to force us all to use a central banking digital currency. And what happens when the dollar collapses? What are we going to do? Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Buy Bitcoin and then shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.